Attack and shock on the first day of school. Attack and shock on the first day of school. A 15 teenage-year-old was stabbed by a classmate, murders from the school here in Martinez. The injured boy is hospitalized and in serious condition. The aggressor, also a minor, was detained at the school. He is 15 years old and it was his first day at school at Bartolome Mitre School, number C in Martinez. "Why are you looking at me badly?" he said during the first recess to one of his new classmates, and the back and forth ended with, "I will wait for you at the exit." Around noon, he managed to send a message to Lujan, his mother, who asked him not to get in trouble on his first day at school. But at the exit, what no one expected happened. Three classmates chased him and blocked him from the school. They wounded him in the back with a knife.
Guacho, me apuñalaron acá en el colegio, guacho. Avísenle a mi mamá.
He reached a kiosk, where they helped him and transferred him to the Central Hospital of San Isidro, where he remained in intensive care. Meanwhile, the 14-year-old aggressor was apprehended by the police. Let's review the details of the case that began inside the school. We will call the minor Jay to preserve his identity. He is 15 years old, new to the school, and it was his first day of classes. Apparently, there were no prior conflicts or rivalities. They look at each other badly, to whom does the phrase belong? To one of the many students who observed the scene for the looking at each other badly. One stabbed the other, "I will wait for you on the exit," and that's where they went. Alejo, how is the young man? Still in intensive care, but stable. However, the wound perforated his lung. He lost fluid, and a drainage had to be performed in the last few hours. The one we call Jay, as you mentioned, to also preserve his identity. His whole family is here. And as you mentioned, Jay's mother, Lujan, started his day by going to talk to the school because it was her son's first day speaking with the principal. An hour later, she found out what happened and now is at the Central Hospital of San Isidro with her son, who is recovering after the attack that no one expected, neither the school nor his classmates who witnesses the whole sequence. Not the initial glances, the "I will wait for you" at the exit, and this outcome in which, according to the family members and some witnesses, M will not have been the only one apprehended so far. The only participant, they say Jay was chased by three classmates, three of the new classmates, three boys who had met him today. Through the window I see a scared boy. It looked like they were throwing him. The boy says they were chasing him with a knife, that they stabbed him. He was touching his stomach, saying they had stabbed him near his lung. And when I started touching him, he says, "No, I can breathe, I can breathe." He starts touching himself back here, back here. It seems like when I look, he had a big stain, he had a serrated hole, like he had been hit with a tramonita knife. And when I opened it, it had a cut, a small cut of 3 or 4 centimeters. But it wasn't deep. It was wide, and nothing. I told him to come down to sit here until the police arrived. The dad started calling the police, the one who helped him first, and nothing. After a while the police came, then the ambulance. The boy couldn't breathe, he was fainting because he was scared. He was alone. The kid, there were no classmates, nobody else from the school with him. The kiosk owner who helped him immediately and managed to get him assistance quickly. Yes, Matias is the one who discovers the wound because until that moment Jed had felt a blow. He had turned around, he had seen M holding a knife, and then he had run again because he realized his safety was in danger. It was more than he expected. It wasn't just going to be a hit, a kick. There was a knife involved. So a block from the school, he receives the stab wound, and he goes another block to the kiosk trying to ask for help. But when he arrives at the kiosk, he couldn't find the wound because, of course, it was on his back. However, it kept hurting. It kept hurting. He was looking for the wound in front at the level of his lung. He had felt the pain here, but of course it had entered from behind. The knife had pierced his lung, and that was the pain he felt. It was Matthias who lifted his shirt and ended up finding the cut. He immediately sat him down and, of course, called the ambulance and simultaneously the police.